A tiny 4-year-old girl stands backstage, her feet barely touching the ground as she sits on a bench waiting for her name to be called. The camera catches her small hands gripping a soft plush toy, a little bunny she refuses to let go of because it gives her courage. Her parents kneel by her side, offering last-minute whispers of encouragement. The backstage lights reflect in her wide, curious eyes as she looks around at the huge world she's about to step into. The energy of the crowd beyond the curtains is a distant roar, but to her it feels like a storm she must bravely walk into. She is asked a few questions by the host. In a shy but confident voice, she says she started playing piano when she was only 2 years old. The host raises eyebrows, impressed but cautious, and gently asks what song she will perform. She answers softly, barely above a whisper, but the determination shining in her eyes already tells a story. The audience watching backstage smiles, unsure of what to expect from someone so tiny. Her name is finally announced, and she takes a deep breath. A stage assistant offers a hand to guide her forward, but she lets go quickly, wanting to walk on her own. As she steps onto the massive America's Got Talent stage, she seems almost swallowed by the size of it. The judges look at her with a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. Simon leans forward, intrigued but clearly wondering how a child this young can possibly handle a grand piano. The little girl places her plush toy gently beside the piano bench before sitting down. She straightens her back, her feet dangling above the pedals, and for the first time, the audience falls completely silent, waiting to see the miracle everyone hopes is about to happen. The stage lights dim, leaving only a soft golden glow around the grand piano. The audience leans forward in anticipation, not entirely sure what a tiny 4-year-old can do on such a gigantic instrument. The little girl adjusts herself, scooting forward on the piano bench until she feels comfortably close to the keys. Her hands, small and delicate, hover shakily above the glossy black and white surface. For a brief second, she closes her eyes as though replaying every moment she has practiced for this exact day. The plush bunny she placed beside the bench sits like a silent supporter, reminding her she isn't alone. The judges exchange skeptical glances. Simon folds his arms, watching with a mix of curiosity and concern. The tension is thick, everyone wants her to succeed, but doubt lingers in the air. Then, suddenly, she presses the first note. It rings out pure and resonant, unexpected power from such tiny fingers. A shift sweeps across the room. That single note is followed by another, then another, each played with surprising confidence and precision. The audience's expressions transform instantly from patronizing smiles to astonished awe. The camera zooms in on her face. Her nerves fade the moment she hears the music she loves. With every new chord, her posture grows stronger, her fingers glide faster, and her expression becomes one of deep concentration. It's as if she's no longer just a little girl, she's a musician telling a story only she knows. The melody begins to soar, layered with emotional depth far beyond her years. Gasps ripple through the theater as people realize they are witnessing something extraordinary. Simon's eyebrows rise, his skeptical look replaced by genuine shock. He leans closer, his eyes beginning to soften. The audience can already feel it. This is not just a cute performance from a child, this is the beginning of a moment that will be remembered. From the very moment her hands begin to dance confidently across the keys, the atmosphere inside the theater transforms. The audience, who moments before wore polite curiosity, now sits in absolute stillness. You could hear a pin drop. This isn't just a child playing a song, it is a heartfelt performance that seems to pour out emotions she's too young to even name. The camera captures her small feet kicking slightly beneath the bench as she reaches challenging parts of the melody, yet she executes them with astonishing accuracy and passion. Close-up shots move from her focused eyes to the wide-eyed amazement of the crowd. People in the audience cover their mouths, stunned by what they're seeing. A breathtaking moment arrives when she shifts into a rapid, intricate progression of notes, the kind even seasoned musicians struggle to execute flawlessly. Her fingers blur with speed and grace, and the music swells into something powerful and cinematic. Then the lens finds Simon. He has gone from intrigued to completely captivated. His normally composed expression breaks into visible emotion. He leans back slightly, blinking more than usual, trying to process the unbelievable talent unfolding before him. His jaw loosens, and his eyes well with tears he doesn't try to hide. It's not just technical skill that moves him, it's the raw innocence and pure love for music radiating from this little star. The audience senses his reaction and becomes even more emotionally invested. Some fans grasp the hands of the people next to them, overwhelmed by the beauty of the performance. The judges exchange looks that silently say, "This is once in a lifetime." The music cascades through the theater, filling every heart with wonder. At this moment, everyone realizes they are witnessing a miracle, something magical that transcends age, expectation, and even understanding. The final notes of her performance linger in the air like a delicate echo, slowly fading into silence. For one suspended moment, no one moves. The lights shimmer against the stage as the little girl keeps her hands gently resting on the keys, unsure if she should look up yet. Her chest rises and falls from the effort she poured into the piece, and she finally lifts her gaze toward the huge audience before her. Then it happens, an eruption of applause that feels like a tidal wave of sound. The audience leaps to their feet almost in perfect unison, clapping wildly and cheering with everything they have. Some are shouting "Bravo," while others are wiping tears from their cheeks, unable to believe they just witnessed a 4-year-old deliver a performance worthy of a professional virtuoso. The cameras pan across the crowd, capturing faces full of shock, pride, and overwhelming love for the little pianist they've only just met. Heidi rises instantly, hands over her heart, swaying with emotion as she smiles down at the tiny star. Howie stands too, shaking his head in disbelief as if trying to absorb the magnitude of the moment. Alicia is already dabbing her eyes, visibly touched in a way that words can't fully describe. In the center of the judges' panel, Simon stands slowly, something he doesn't do lightly. His expression is soft and sincere, pride and amazement written all over his face. He claps, but more importantly, he feels the moment, letting himself be vulnerable in front of millions watching. Backstage, the girls' parents are crying openly, hugging each other as they watch their child conquer a stage that intimidates even adults. The little girl, still seated, grins shyly, overwhelmed by the thunderous celebration crashing over her like confetti made of pure joy. In this moment, she is not just a contestant, she is a star shining brighter than anyone ever expected. The applause is still roaring when Simon places a hand over his heart, visibly fighting back the last of his tears. He steps forward, signaling that he wants to speak. The audience quickly quiets, anticipation thick in the air. The little girl looks up at him with hopeful eyes, her tiny legs still dangling above the floor, feet unable to reach the pedals she mastered so perfectly. Simon takes a deep breath, his voice slightly shaky as he begins to speak. He tells her that talent like hers is incredibly rare, that what she played wasn't just music, but emotion, passion, and soul poured into every single note. He admits he didn't expect much when he saw such a young child walk onto the stage, yet she proved everyone wrong in the most beautiful way possible. The audience murmurs in agreement, nodding and smiling warmly at her. Without another word, Simon turns to face the golden buzzer. The audience immediately begins to scream, sensing what's about to happen. The little girl's heart races as Simon lifts his hand slowly, almost dramatically, looking back at her with a proud and tender smile. Then, he slams the buzzer with full force. A dazzling explosion of golden confetti rains from the ceiling, swirling around her like a magical storm. She gasps, covering her mouth with both hands in absolute shock and joy. Her parents rush out from backstage, tears streaming as they wrap her in a tight embrace. The judges stand, celebrating the unforgettable moment. Cameras capture every angle, Simon smiling through tears, the audience cheering wildly, the confetti reflecting every bright stage light. The little girl looks around, soaking in a memory that will live with her forever. At just 4 years old, she has moved millions, earned a golden buzzer, and proved that music has no age, only heart.